Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. And we are, I think we said enough about the Columbus game. It made us sad. Now let's look forward to something else that may make us sad. The game against Montreal. Is Montreal good? What do you think?
Montreal, Saturday, March 16th, 1 p.m. What's their record?
I gotta look this up.
They beat Messi.
They're up.
They won. Yeah, they're in second place, right?
2 more wins than the Fire.
Yeah.
6 more points.
You know what's the sad part? Or the scary part? Is that they've been doing it playing away.
Ooh.
Sarah, Alvarez, Waterman, Corbo, Teixeira, Quanois, Piet, Lassiter, Duke, Vilsaint, and Kokaro. Oh man, Kokaro.
Is that Roy Lassiter's son?
Yeah, the
guy who was in
yeah.
LA. Yeah, he's been all over.
Oh wow.
Man, I never know any of these guys on Montreal.
Raheem
ever.
Edwards, you know.
Well, okay, I do know
Edwards
Raheem.
is coming off the bench. Victor Wanyama coming off the bench. Dominic Yankov coming off the bench. Sunisi Ibrahim.
Like this.
And Joseph Martinez.
Whatever they're doing is working.
Off the bench.
Oh, God. He'll start against the Fire.
Yeah.
That's because, oh, God. Oh, man. So, I guess they're good, man. I'm kind of nervous about this game. But it's in Chicago. It's a day game.
They beat Dallas 2-1 in the in their opening match, they tied 0-0 with Orlando at Orlando. They beat Dallas 2-1 at Dallas. They beat Miami at Miami. And now they're going to go for a trifecta and try to beat us in Chicago.
What do you guys think about the lineup? I kind of want to see the same thing as last week. I feel like that's our best lineup. Herbers and Costa in the center. Shaq in front of him, Guti and Haile Selassie, Kuipers, and I mean, what else? I mean, I guess you take Chios out for Pineda, right? Have Pineda and Salquist next to each other.
I thought the lineup we put out against Cincinnati was our best lineup. It got Gaspar off the field.
That was horrible.
It got Herbers. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. I agree. What was it? The 3 in the back. Everything about it didn't work. But to me, that was like our best 11 that he could put forward.
Well, this team, Klopas has us dropping back too far. Like, we're not a pressing team, but god damn it, we have 10 guys in the box as soon as they get control of the ball in their own half.
This team doesn't know how to play offense.
That's why Kuipers isn't getting service.
Because you have Klopas running the team. That's it, bro. Exactly. The guy can't play offense. He can't change this team the way it is.
They are good defensively because they've had to be.
They have to be. But here's the thing.
Defense by chaos.
And this is why I always say, if Klopas were to get fired Saturday night, I'm kind of curious to see because chances are Nagamura's going to take over.
Yeah, he's already here.
I'm kind of curious to see what he'll do.
Klopas would literally have to commandeer a nuclear weapon and hold Manhattan hostage to lose this job.
We've seen enough of Klopas, though, and Heights has got to be feeling similar.
What's Heights got to lose? He's on a 1 year on a team that he's been terrible on, and he knows he's just going to get promoted his way out of this position if he screws up this year.
And
why even fire Klopas?
You're right. And how do we let Heights get another pick of the apple when all of his picks have been losers?
I mean, that's why I feel like this offseason he didn't have a lot of free. I don't know. I don't know if this was all Heights' work, and that means
I think it is Heights' work because obviously I don't think Joe is going to play Football Manager.
Nobody wants to work with Heights.
Joe's got 4 saves. He's like, this one's the best one. Go get Acosta.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing. How patient is Acosta going to be staying on this team, without success?
One more season, I think, because like I said, this is a shadow of a good team.
He's a good team player.
You're like 2 or 3 little moves away from being a pretty good team.
Yeah, but
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Toke. This team is so far behind the rest of MLS. It's kind of scary.
If Klopas is still coaching this team, you could put in 5 Messis in that team, and nothing will happen.
Guys,
Well,
I
he
just
won't be
read
next
you the
season.
bench of Montreal, who we don't have a freaking clue who the rest of these guys are, but their bench we know, and that alone is ridiculous. Like, Chicago Fire is not good enough to compete in MLS when Fabian Herbers is our best player week to week. He has been the last 3 games. I mean, Acosta's coming on too, and Brady. Brady's been playing kind of crazy.
Brady's been pretty darn good, to be honest.
He has to be.
Yeah, so he's on his toes all the time.
Chicos is too slow.
I have a few hypotheticals for you guys, real quick. I want to know your guys' temperature on a few things.
Okay.
How many more games before you start freaking out about Kuiper scoring?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I'll give him the bench.
I'm right there with you.
There's a caveat.
It's not him. It doesn't feel.
It's not him.
He's not even getting shots to make service to make shots.
There's a difference.
Broco got better service.
There's a difference between, like, you know, if this was Casper and he would just kind of like stand around, but Kuiper's is covering ground because he wants to make magic happen. That's a caveat. Now, nothing is gonna happen if Klopas is still running this team. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well, hold on. So we're all good with a couple more games of, like, not even caring if he scores yet or not. We think he's still going to be fine. How long before it starts to get to him, you think?
Oh, it's already gotten to him. That's why you see this behavior. This guy is willing to run to the ends of the earth to do what it takes to score a motherfucking goal. Like, I've never seen in a Chicago Fire striker in the last 5 years since Nikolic. Like, this guy is willing. Nikolic ran, guys. He ran. That's why he was offsides all the time. But also the league leader of goals. Like, you got to run to make goals, and this guy is doing everything he can to get open. Yeah, that's true. He's trying to get open. He's doing, but he's not getting any of this. I mean, I said it. Prisha has had better chances from this team, and I don't get it.
If Kuiper's had Chibilko's service, he'd have 3 goals by now.
Yes,
honestly, like 100%.
Which is nuts. This doesn't make sense.
So hold on now. We know where you guys stand with Kuipers. Where do you guys stand on Klopas? Like, like, I don't think he'll be fired this season.
He's got to be fired this
he's
next
be
week.
Fired.
If they lose this next game, he's got to go.
They got to put Nagamura
in next game.
You don't think they're going to drag it out till the end of that home stretch in May, just to give him as much?
They could give him to the end. They might give him to April, but even that's too long. That's too long. That's way too long.
See, well, of course,
we know what he is, guys. We know what he is. How MLS knows what he is? How does Georg Heitz not know what he is when he hired him, knowing what he is?
I was told constantly that.
Choke, we missed you. What were you saying?
Yeah,
your internet popped.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just about to say we know who he is, and we didn't want him at the start of the season. Like, if it were up to me, he would have been he would not have gotten this contract extension.
And I was just at that point, you know the stages of denial. I was just like at that. I was at acceptance stage. I was like, okay, we got an interim coach here. He's the best guy for this level of team. Then they signed Kuipers. Then they got Acosta. Then they've sent a message to MLS that says, hey, we're trying to compete here, and we still have this crappy interim coach. And that's when I'm like, okay, these things do not align.
No, it's true. I think we've seen this story happen time and time again at the end of the past couple of seasons with Klopas. Nothing has changed. Clearly, the game MLS has gone beyond his coaching abilities. He can't coach this team like how he coached the Fire back in 2012. There's nothing special what he does on the field.
What special does he do? He does defense, but they haven't.
Not even that. I think it's not even that he does defense. It's that the Fire are forced to defend.
Maybe.
And they're put in a situation where they're forced to defend and they have to show up. But other than that, Klopas, you can tell the way this team plays. There's no game plan. There's nothing set in stone. A lot of times it's mostly individual work. It's not a build up. It's not a guy that's in charge of making plays. No, it's just a lot of it's individual work, and I don't think as long as Klopas is on this team managing it, we're not gonna be successful. That's it. Like we're not.
He doesn't put people in positions to succeed. He just does not.
Regardless,
it's crazy.
Regardless, you can put Messi at a midfielder role, but if there's not a game plan to get those pieces moving around, like I wonder if he sits with the team and goes over film.
Well, that's the difference between a Tata Martino and a Frank Klopas. Tata's got tactics.
So how soon until we can hire BJ Callahan? No, honest question. We were told that Pablo Nakamura was going to have the tactics and Frank was going to be the vibes.
Right?
But it looks like a Frank team. And is that just Frank being like big dick in him or what? Like, is that the problem? Is Frank's like being like, nah, we're doing what I'm doing, dog?
Well, let's talk there. In theory, if Nagamura is creating the tactics and Frank is implementing, and they both need to go. It's putting Nagamura as a head coach.
I think Nakamura is the same thing as Tom Barlow. I think Nakamura was hired to be the next coach if everybody told him to go pound sand again next season. And I think Tom Barlow was signed because we didn't have our DP striker yet. And we needed somebody. We needed somebody, but it was like we needed to sign somebody because if we don't sign anyone and we don't get a DP until summer, we're going to look so bad we can't even sell tickets.
Right.
So let's hope that Jim Curran gets fired in the middle of the season because Philadelphia's not doing that great right now. And a 6-0 loss.
Let's root for despair in Chester, please.
Yeah. So my thing is I don't think nothing's going to change because, of course, guess who's going to be in charge of hiring a new coach?
The dysfunctional GM.
Really, I mean, dude, how could Joe give him a 1-year contract and let him hire another coach? How do you not circumvent that guy?
My thing is, I think either Heights is conning Joe, or Joe is legit like oblivious to what's going on.
How is Joe looking at the product on the field and saying, "Yeah, that's progress. This is a 3 or 4 or 5 year project, and that is progress I am seeing from day 1 to day 1,500 is what we're at, guys."
Maybe Joe doesn't give a crap about this team. Like legit, he'll show up.
I doubt that. You're not spending money on Kuipers.
He'll show up for appearances. He'll do his little PR thing. He'll throw money at the product. That way, nobody accuses him of being cheap. But that probably ends right there. That's it.
No, if you don't care about this team and you're gonna spend money, though, you do like the Shaqiri thing. You get the biggest name you possibly can, and who cares what happens? But they signed Kuipers.
But is that Joe or is that Heights? But guess what? It is Joe because Joe picked Heights. Shaqiri is all over Joe Mansueto's hands.
For all we know, Heights probably hyped up Kuipers to Joe. Like, hey, this guy is like Cristiano Ronaldo in Belgium. Let's sign him. You got to sign him. He's going to score 40 goals in Chicago. Come on, Joe. You got to sign him.
Joe has not figured out this con man yet.
Bruiser, bro.
And Joe hasn't figured out the con. Joe hasn't figured out the con.
I don't know. Is there an age difference between those two? Is it possible Gehrig is like an illegitimate child?
No.
Or something?
No.
No?
He probably did with Acosta. He probably said, Joe, we got to sign him.
Listen,
look at him.
Acosta was the number one free agent to get.
Yeah, number one free agent, Joe. Let's sign him. Sign him.
That was a good call, though. That's a smart thing to do is sign Acosta. That's why I don't think Gehrig did it.
Okay, no, hold on. When it comes to a new head coach,
he almost blew it too.
When it comes to a new head coach, from what I heard, Joe had the final say. So I could imagine Heights saying, Joe, we got to keep Frank. Come on, Joe. I'm not going to go out there and look for another head coach when we got the best one here.
Listen, hold on. Is Gehrig? I mean, listen. If they offered Frank Klopas the ability to be sparky, he'd take it. That's how much he loves this team.
Klopas was great as an announcer. That's it. He should have not left
and
that
a great
spot.
player. He was a great player.
He was a great
absolutely.
player. He had his moment. He had his time. But recently, he was great as an announcer. The fact that they brought him in as part of the coaching staff was a head scratcher because it's like, we've seen this before. What the hell are you doing? You know.
Well, that's like when you're assistant coach, you're putting out cones and rah. That's like he's good at that.
And I keep hearing conflicting reports about him. Like I've heard people say the players laugh at him. You know, the players respect him. I don't know what's going on. You know, maybe that locker room is gone for all we know. You know,
I don't know. They played so well the first 10 minutes of that game, and they fought really hard. But listen, the last 10 seasons, I would say, one of the biggest problems with the Fire was actual effort. And I don't feel like effort is a problem this season.
You got to keep in mind, this is the start of the season. Let's see if they still have that same effort towards the end. When there's nothing to play for anymore, when they don't care anymore, let's see if it stays that way. Right now, it's the start of the season. Everybody wants to make a good impression. Everybody wants, to score a goal, try to, think that they could get into playoffs. But again, it's the same common denominator. Heights, Frank, and of course, Joe is the guy that's blindly saying yes to Heights. So
let me ask you guys this then. When do you give up on this team? When is it like it's over?
Last year, buddy.
Playoffs?
Last year. Join me.
The moment they said we have officially re-signed Frank Klopas
that's when I gave up.
Head coach. Outside.
Well, I felt that way till we signed Acosta.
No. I gave up before that. I gave it before they re-signed Frank Klopas because they retained Georg Heights. That's why I gave up, by the way, last season.
But I'll tell you this, in a legitimate answer, is we have like 5 home games in May. If we get out of May and we're in bad shape, we're screwed.
It's over. You can't wait till May.
Because we spend all summer on the road and then League's Cup and then garbage,
By the way, we're at 17 minutes. We got maybe a couple minutes left here. But if you're going to get results out of this club, you got to pull the plug on this tub now because the tub is full of bloody fucking water. We need to get new water in.
They're not gonna, though.
It's gross. It's disgusting. The water is gross and it's getting gummed up with fucking hemoglobin and all whatever the fuck else is in blood. But it's just gross. So get new blood in there and figure it out.
The blame in all this, and this goes beyond Frank and Heights. The blame in all this is Joe.
Yes,
Joe has let this mockery, has let this travesty, this disaster to continue.
This clown show.
Hold on.
Clown show after clown show. Nelson Rodriguez after Georg Heights.
This is why.
Well, you're not wrong. Listen, Nelson Rodriguez, the Baba Yaga of American soccer. I still will take this. I would have to say, as mad as I was and as depressed as I was that they re-signed Heights and Klopas, it still never reached the depths I felt when Andrew Hopman owned this team.
That's fine, but it's kind of becoming a repeat a little bit of that, except with more money.
How will all the same things keep happening with completely different people?
And this is why I say the blame for this dumpster fire, for this disaster, for all these shot callings that have been going on with this club is solely on Joe. This is why I question how dedicated is he with this club? Because if he was dedicated, he would have pulled the plug on Heights a long time ago.
You know what? You're 1,000% right because look at Arthur Blank. Look at David Beckham's team. Look at owners who give a fuck. And what they do for their clubs, Joe is not doing it.
Beckham has only had 3 coaches. He fired Neville and then had an interim and then hired Tata, right? Like it's a little bit different situation. So with all of this said, I'll say this. 3-0 to the Fire. Kuiper scores, and then Aragoni gets a double.
They need a big win. That could turn the season around.
So,
they
dude,
need a win.
I'm hearing. Here's what I'm gonna say. One last thing, and then we should give predictions and go home here, right?
Yep.
I'll say this. I feel like the biggest problem isn't even how everything's going yet. It's just that there has been over a decade of bad vibes ruminating.
And they're not going
and
anywhere.
So,
they're not going anywhere.
Well, but hold on. If this were another team, if this was like Houston, they had a great year last year. The year before that, they sucked. The year before that, they were okay. You know, up and down and up and down. We'd be like, okay, well, let's weather this and see what's up. But because we have had over a decade of nothing but bad vibes,
nothing but downs,
the toxicity is instantly pouring in, and that's going to keep us from actually doing any better. I think that sucks.
And not only that, but come on, this is like a comedy show. It's hit on repeat because you keep bringing in Klopas to cover the mess that was created by your GM, which in turn was created by the owner who keeps,
was created by the previous GM, which then was created by the previous
owner.
So the thing is
all right.
The owner is letting it happen. So, if people want to say, oh yeah, but Joe cares about this club, Joe spends money, blah, blah, blah. But Joe also let Heights continue running this club for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
So
guys, no better than the editorial.
This team started Joe bought this team 6 feet in the grave. Like FC Cincinnati and FC Minnesota, both literally not 6 feet in the grave. They have new, fresh starts, and look at where their clubs are. Chicago Fire, I'm going to say this is kind of wild, but if they had folded the club and started up a new club, we would not be having this types of problems. Guarantee it. It sucks.
No,
it's horrible. But the fact of the truth is that this team is so far behind the 8 ball. It is so far buried into the graveyard of MLS. It might as well be Miami Fusion or Tampa Bay Mutiny, because it's about as winningest as those teams are.
Do you ever think every now and again, like, we're Chicago Cubs fans in 1920?
I don't want to wait 100 years.
We just won 2 titles. We're good, and do you ever wonder that?
And then 112 years or something of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm just waiting for Joe to sell us in 10 years for like over a couple of $1 billion.
I'm going to tell you this. Joe is making a lot of mistakes, but caring is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that, he can shovel enough money on that fire until eventually something works.
But he doesn't care enough.
He cares, but he doesn't care enough.
He doesn't care enough. You want to see a guy who cares? Look at Jerry Jones down in Dallas. That guy freaking cares. We don't have an owner like Jerry Jones. I know Jerry Jones is off his rocker and fucking nuts and has his fingerprints all over the team to the point where it's kind of disgusting and it doesn't work. But that's an owner who fucking cares, and his teams tend to be at the top rather than the bottom more often than not. They just don't win the Super Bowl lately.
Wait, I don't think Skeletor's team has won a playoff game in the last 20 years.
They haven't. They've been struggling, and they got to figure out Dak Prescott's contract too. They're in trouble.
So yeah, again, people could go hype up Joe and kiss his ass because Joe probably invites you over to his clubhouse or whatever, or you're the preferred
for stock tips,
supporter group or whatever.
Wait, you guys haven't gone and like smoked a J with Joe and hung out at the crib yet?
No, we didn't get to see
the season ticket holder perk.
We didn't get to see the red jersey, whatever they were doing, showing the red jersey to a certain group of people before anybody else. No, we didn't get to see any of that. So my thing is, people could go ahead and kiss his ass and say, Joe spends money. Joe got us out of Bridgeview. Joe is getting us a new training. That's fine. But clearly he doesn't care where this team goes from this point on.
That's so wrong. This team was so bad.
If he cared, we would have seen change already. I agree.
We are seeing change. This is the beginning of change. I'm telling you guys,
How long is this change going to last? Because it's been 5 years, buddy.
Yep.
Well,
5 years.
Okay, well, hold on.
No progress on the field since day 1 to day 1500.
You guys forget that Nelson Rodriguez made sure that every contract imaginable ended the minute that Joe bought the team, which means he literally had to scramble to even have enough players to field a team, let alone if any of them were any good.
Okay, that's fine.
So then, like, you lose
that's
3
fine.
years right there.
Wow, and then he kept
that
dude. Nelson scammed Joe. Nelson did that, put Joe in a hard place.
100%.
And then guess what? Joe's like, oh, I guess I need to keep this guy for a year to figure this bullshit out. Then I'll bring in my guy. And that's what ended up happening.
Exactly. And that's,
you know what?
I'm telling you,
now,
you lost 3 years instantly.
No, but you know what? Now you're in a position where the same guy that your guy, it's not working out, buddy. Like, it's not. You know, he clearly, there's no game plan, there's no project because you keep hiring the same guy that was your intern for the past for the demise.
You can't say that. You can't say there's no project when we had Gaston Jimenez as a major player on this team, and now we have Kellen Acosta. You can't say that.
No, we're saying they're flying by the seat of their pants. And when you're flying by the seat of your pants, you'll take anything that lands in front of you, be it a Kuipers. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
So let me put it to you in this way. All right,
guys, we're almost at 30 minutes. By the way,
that's fine. If I were to put on the table a bunch of computer parts, expensive computer parts, would you be able to build it without any help?
Absolutely not. Well, or do I have instructions?
You have like a little 2-page instruction. This to tell you the real.
You're on a timer. You got to play a game.
James, hold on. Day game. Cannot fucking wait for a day game. It's going to be so much fun. James, what's your score?
Chicago Fire are going to lose, but because I'm predicting they're going to lose, surely it will mean they will win. So I'm seeing another 1-2 loss.
DPG.
Honestly, with the way this team has been playing, the lackluster effort and mismanagement from the head coach, I see them scraping by. It's going to be a draw, 1-1.
That's exactly what I was going to say, 1-1 draw for real, honestly. So, all right. Well, I know we went a little over everybody, but we had a really good time tonight. We have been the enemies of the fire. Like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. It really helps out the podcast. We're over on X, I guess I'll call it. I always call it Twitter, but we're over on X. We're on YouTube.
Twitter.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere, bro.
We post fun memes and pictures and to talk questions about the fire and just generally have some good time.
We try to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, so. Next time I see Joe, I'm telling him, hey, look, Joe, we suck.
All right, guys. See you guys next time. Make sure you kick that like button. Share with fire friends. It's a double entendre. Fire friends.
What?
Your fire. It means your fire friends are both your friends that support the fire and your friends that are great. You know, your great friends they're fire.
Okay. Oh.
So share with your fire friends. It's a double play. That's my play.
Everybody.
Good night, everybody.